The Body Shop connects you with the hottest fitness models in the world. Learn the backstage secrets that most successful bikini divas, fitness models, and bodybuilders use to dominate their competition and land on the covers of magazines. Only here at the Body Shop will we allow you to listen and talk to the best of the best in fitness competition. If you're passionate about bodybuilding and fitness, you have found your new home. All of us here at FTNS Radio would like to welcome you to the Body Shop. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome your host, Andre Brick St. Clair.
Yes! Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Body Shop. Thank you for allowing us into your homes and in through your airwaves. As usual, my in-studio co-host is Mr. Brian Cannone.
Hello.
What's up, B?
What's up?
How you doing, man?
Just doing okay.
You just doing okay?
Yeah, we're doing all right.
All right. Yeah.
You know?
Okay, now listen.
Yep.
We're going to go a little off script today, okay?
There's no script. There's no script today.
Well, you know what I mean. So let me explain what I mean, okay? What I mean is normally, we keep everything very friendly, we chat, and then, we go on and we bring in a guest.
Okay.
Today we're not going to do such a thing, okay? This past weekend was, an event took place up north, and there's an old saying that says imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Okay, now I've been called, and it was like, this event was good. It reminded me a lot of something Brian does, so on and so forth. I mean, what's your take on that?
Well, I mean, it was, we had Fitness Atlantic 2 weeks ago,
right.
April 16th, and then, there's now another show took place. And, I was tossing around what I would do on that weekend. And when I sort of wanted to go back up to Quebec and take that ride again.
To
the other WBFF show in Quebec. It's in the Ottawa, gorgeous hotel. I mean, probably the nicest. I mean, you were there.
Yeah.
I mean, how much nicer does that get? And it's weird because there was a show in the WBFF show in Quebec. It's right in the outside of Ottawa. It's about 8 hours for us to drive there and then drive back. So it's 16 hours in the car. I would have had to leave on Friday night at like 6 o'clock and then watch the show. Probably not even staying. I'd probably be sleeping in the car. So I get up and walk right into the show and then crash in the hotel and drive home the next night.
Basically.
Now, the hotel is $250 a night. It's beautiful. It's a Hilton. Gorgeous. Overlooks a lake. The theater, it's in a casino. It's out of this world. And we probably could have stayed at a Ramada across the street. And I was going to bring my lighting tech and have him come up with me to sit down and watch this WBFF show so he can kind of get the gist of what the lighting, because for what I had at the Oakdale, we could have ran an unbelievable concert lighting scene. And I was disappointed because I didn't feel it came off for the amount of effort and money that went into these stage lights, and it just wasn't what I thought it should be. And then normally, for years past, the lights set up a certain way and they stay consistent throughout the show. So like you do certain white lighting, you light the back, everything's set, and then you just run through the show. Well, with WBFF, it's more, you're kind of like running like a concert. So like you have these light beams that come out, we call them airplane lights.
Yeah.
And when you run the certain beams of light and you really haze up the stage, and then you have the effect lights go, it really looks like something like a rock concert.
Yeah.
It's really the effect that could have been there, and it really was. The truss were on the floor of the stage. They had LEDs in them. We had the airplane lights set up. We had airplane lights up on top. But and I don't want to come down too hard on my lighting guy, but I don't think he really understood the vision. Even though I showed him pictures and I showed him the video and everything else, he didn't really understand that you have to side light the stage. You can't overdo the white lights from the top because you're not going to get the effect of all that stage lighting you're bringing in. You really need a darker stage, and you need tons and tons of haze to really get the whole pop of what was supposed to be seen. So for me, and you know it, Andre, I was a little disappointed with my show. I've really good reviews. My dad was at the ticket booth. He said everybody was, between the Tony people, were happy. The people backstage ran great.
It really did.
I just think that the night show could have had better communication amongst us. We should have had headsets just like these on. If we had headsets like these front and backstage, we'd be on point.
See, the thing is, if we'd had headsets like these, then I would need a separate mic. It'd be, it'd got a little, it would have been a little confusing.
Yeah, but we could have communicated a little bit better,
right.
And also I think the stage, if it was done the way I had envisioned, and for all the equipment that we had there, we could have just blew it out of the water. So from seeing that. And having, about 150 competitors, and then, going a week of just kind of decompressing, and then just knowing that the other show it was coming up, I wasn't sure, do I want to get out of, do I want to just get in my car and just drive 8 hours, be at this beautiful hotel, or am I still going to be thinking about what's the other show going to look like? Let me see for myself. Right. So, I really didn't do much. I was kind of down on Saturday, and, because it's something that gets to me a lot. And, then we put on the webcast and we watched it. So, I can see for myself that it was about the same amount of competitors. Like I said, it's a different venue. It doesn't hold as many people, so they're probably less than half of what we had in our audience. And the stage looked pretty good. It was like, it was pretty bright stage, and in the backdrop was a lot of gobos effects and things like that. I think if everything came off the way I wanted, we would just blew them out of the water as far as the lighting goes for what we had. It's just, and it was okay at times, but, some of the pictures of the stage looked pretty good, like the video with Lorianne and stuff, and the way the lights came off. It was sort of it. It could have been better. And then looking at the other show, I'm like, it kind of felt like my show 3 years ago. By watching it, I was like, wow, look at all these competitors that I used to know and used to do my event. And, there weren't too many that crossed over. So between the two shows, you're talking 300 people, between two shows. And what gets to me sometimes, it's, this industry, it's like people are chasing these titles. And, we have the WBFF titles, which there's more pro cards to be handed out in different divisions. Right. They don't have a pro category besides bodybuilding in the other one. And, you also look for opportunity. We also had a lot of really good published photographers who were at the show backstage and doing photo shoots. So, that's something more to offer. Absolutely had a better venue, for what it was. I mean, if you go to the other one, the theater itself isn't any better, but, the atmosphere of being in a nice casino is pretty good, too. So that's kind of, nice. But, competitor-wise, it definitely was two different groups of people, and that's kind of a shame that people, make a decision on doing the two, and kind of deciding what that deciding factor is going to be between what show they go into, and it's like, kind of feels like, the old days of like WWE and WCW.
Remember those days?
Man, it's like, okay, what was it? Raw was on Mondays, and what was the other one? Was on Mondays too?
Nitro
was on
the Monday Night Wars,
head to head. And to some people that watch it, they go, well, it's just wrestling. They don't know the difference until they get into the whole deal. So people in the audience-wise would be like, well, I was at this show, and I'm like, or they're calling. I actually just responded to an email today. Somebody went to the other show and named it the Fitness Atlantic, and I'm like, yeah, that we were at a different show. But it's, most people, it doesn't matter what it's called. It doesn't matter what the title is. It just matters that, they want to go do a show, and a lot of those factors don't come into place until they get too involved in it, and then they learn, through whether it's from their different trainers or from their friends are doing one over the other, and different decisions that make them decide. And that's it is what it is. It's the big question is always in my head, well, who's finally going to really offer more? It's magazines are one thing, and you could get published, and there's not too many people getting large time endorsement contracts where they could basically quit their day job, and it's that's always the bigger picture I'm always thinking of. To me, it's a show is a show. You want to really inspire people to get in shape and to be in their best shape, and to use the show as a goal. That's always been like my big take on it. Right. And we started a lot of people off. Through the Fitness Atlantic, there's so many people that are now on magazine covers and doing their thing. And but honestly, a lot of them really haven't become true stars. In my eyes,
right.
They haven't like really been able to quit a day job and stuff. I mean, so that's the thing that kind of I always look at. That's why with the show, a couple of different factors that are always big in my mind, and that was trying to bring in somebody like Tony Horton so that people can kind of get inspired by somebody who's created something
on their own.
Huge,
right.
Huge, and it's like I don't think a lot of people really understood why I would bring in somebody like that opposed to bringing in like a professional bodybuilder or fitness person or somebody instead, and the two crowds were very different. You had 300 people working out to Tony, and then you had like 800 people inside the theater watching the show during different times. So it's you bring in, plus you had the prejudging crowd. So, through the day, we definitely had a lot of spectators, but, I just really get inspired by people who really have accomplished something that's pretty large. When you look at a product like P90X and you think, well, this guy, Tony Horton, actually sat down, thought about the product, made it, had a company film it, got it on airs to be on the infomercials, and it became one of the number one products because it's an intense workout.
Absolutely.
It's not just some fluffy type of it's a product that companies really probably wouldn't back because it's kind of hardcore in the way it's put together. I always think for competitors too, they should think of ways to really become something bigger than where people are headed right now. There's people that win national titles that believe me, they're going to work the next day, and they have nothing to show for it.
Right.
And the title doesn't have as much meaning as it possibly can.
But do you feel that the reason that you got some of these top national competitors that still have to go to work, do you feel that's because they necessarily doesn't have someone to give them the right direction or even advice like, okay, listen, you got this, you got a certain amount of momentum going for you. Let's capitalize on it. Let's film a workout, okay? Let's mass market it. Let's do a transformation. Do you feel as though not having someone in the air to give them that correct push is, part of the reason for that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
And I think for one, I think a lot of people want to believe, and dream, and we've said this, going all the way back. I remember Joe Cannone used to say, the money truck's not going to stop at your house when you turn pro. Okay, the money truck is not coming by and dumping the money off at your house when you get a pro card.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
So, a lot of people would think, well, I get the pro card, then it's going to mean something to me now. Well, in reality, it's not, but it helps your brand. It helps you as a person because now you have more credibility.
Right.
So, what people should realize, and it's the same thing, you got to think of the big picture. And, I competed in like 91, 92.
You're dating yourself. You're dating yourself. You're dating yourself.
Well, from there, I was offered the opportunity to now run a show.
Right.
Now, I didn't care about, I didn't know about the money, okay? And to be honest, I found out after there was no money in it. I was like, really?
Yeah, when you do a show, believe me, you're doing it strictly for the love, all right?
You're sitting there and you're looking around and you're like, look at all these people. Man, there's so many people here. And then it's like, this guy wants me to run this thing? All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Go get $5,000 for this and $3,000 for that and pay for this
and
pay for that. You add
it all up, and at the end of the day, and you walk around and you go, I worked for a whole year on this. And I got nothing to show. I tell people, and they don't want to believe you either, but like, listen, I can go to the grocery store and be a bagger.
And make more money?
in 6 months, make more money. Are you kidding me? So, it's something that you want to look at and say, but what do you get mostly out of the show? I'll tell you, you get great pictures.
That's true.
You get great video. You get great content. So, if you learn the other aspects, which I started to learn more so about like in 2001, started learning the avenues of, hey, listen, there's this whole thing about the internet. And you could build a website, and from that website, there's a lot of different things you can do to now bring in income. So, through the, my website, Fitness Atlantic, I'll be as honest. It makes a lot more money than the show. I mean, there's years the show's made some money, and there's years that the show like this one doesn't make any because it's too big, But you look at, can I get some great pictures, videos? Can I interview the contestants? Can I start building up on things? And you want to look at, well, what else are you getting out of it? You think the big picture, too. You think, and Joe Weider had Muscle and Fitness as the main thing. That's really what he was known for as a magazine guy, but he owned the IFBB. So, the content that's created from a federation can be huge because there's so many athletes you come in contact with, their training methods, their workouts, everything that's a part of it. And even here, we're doing a fitness radio show, and this is going to take time too, but once you build up enough content, get enough listeners, then there's going to be commercials that come into play that's going to make all this worthwhile. So, it's, a lot of times I talk to the competitors too, and you said that if you get somebody that understands that they can create a DVD workout program like P90X, or they could come out with a website that's full of information about how to get in shape. If they come out with, they have their own radio show, they do different things. Eventually, if something gets enough listeners, enough viewers, a YouTube channel, there's people at YouTube channels that get offers from different businesses and stuff because they have people looking at them. Right. There's a guy there's a good book, Crush It by Gary Vaynerchuk, and he talks about you get the eyeballs and the money will come. This guy started a wine internet TV show that was getting 150,000 views per episode.
Hold up. A wine internet TV show.
Yeah, his father owned a wine business in New Jersey.
Right.
He started doing videos with a $400 camera in his office, and he started basically taking 3 bottles of wine in a spit bucket with the Jets logo on it, and he says now he wants to buy the Jets. That's his goal is to buy the Jets. Okay, so but he sits there.
Started off on on YouTube, turned into a possible football team owner.
That's a good money.
Yeah, that's good money right there.
I'll tell you though, he's very inspirational. If you ever get a chance, watch like his keynote speaking. It's he just starts screaming at people. He's just like, stop doing what you do not want to do.
Right.
And it's a really I like it a lot. I get inspired. I definitely check out his videos. When especially his keynote speaking, when you want to be inspired to really take something to the next level.
Nice. Well, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna run outside. I'm gonna run down to the car.
Yeah.
I got 2 bottles of Chianti. Yeah, we gonna come back. We gonna film it.
Test them.
And then when I come back, I'm buying the New York Knicks and hopefully, buy them a championship. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be the Bug Ceiling of the NBA.
All right, let's go. Let's do it.
We'll be right back after this commercial.